Welcome to a special series where we interview a host of notable people from the G100 Summit in Los Cabos, Mexico, on the moment that changed everything. Here, you'll learn their secrets to success, gain invaluable insights into what shaped their careers, and key takeaways on what it takes to be a leader in their field.
This is absolutely what we need. This is absolutely the future. We have to get on this.
Talk to people who think so beautifully about big, complex challenges.
G100 Los Cabos, Mexico, a special series on the moment that changed everything.
How'd you meet?
How we meet.
Here, let me pull this.
You didn't have the occasion to be inside, but I said
No,
in a
I'm
very,
sorry, I didn't hear.
No. In
Yeah.
a very boring way, but interesting way. Eva was a roommate of a friend of mine in Jerusalem, and we were very young. She was 20, I was 21. I was 21 then before we got things. And anyway, and I had to. No, she was 20 and I was 21. Yes. And so, how do I pick her up? This beautiful girl.
Okay, good question.
And then she was doing a weaving because what connected us with art from the first moment: art, design, and architecture. And I asked her, stupid thing, really stupid if I have to think about it. Where did you buy the threads for your weaving, which you were making?
That's the best question you came up with?
Yes, I wasn't much more clever.
So hold
you
it.
know what
Excuse me, how disappointed were you in
So
the opening line?
I want to say one thing, I'm working with prisoners and everybody says, are you crazy? This is the most difficult, it's the most challenging and like this. And I say, I like a good challenge. And I proved it there.
So what we did is I said, where do you buy this threads? And she said, okay, fine, I'll buy there and there. I said, oh, go show me, I want to see it. She fell into it, and that was more or less the beginning. Since ever, we connected by threads.
Oh,
and
okay,
our
that's
life
very nice.
is connecting till today. And we are next month 48 years married. And
How's it going?
We think that we're going to try to make another 48 years, but it will be a little bit of a challenge. And I said we're a very boring couple because we never make up, because we don't know the art of making up, because we never fight.
Oh, that's nice. Eva, what were you like as a child?
Oh, I don't know. The funny thing is I have a girlfriend that I always usually try to call and say, how was it when I was a child? How was this and how was this? But I had a wonderful childhood. I came from truly loving parents, from a home who was loving, and the wider family was together, uncles and grandparents, and it was very inspirational homes that I came from all together with the larger family together.
Were you quiet? Were you introverted, extroverted? No. Were you the life of the party?
I was probably in the middle. What, Eddie? You don't know me, but I was probably a little bit. I'm a sandwich. I'm the girl in the middle, and I must say I was adored by everybody.
But you were. Actually, you always tell about your grandfather was a very famous personality.
Adored. So I had a wonderful childhood. I have only wonderful memories, and like Eddie said, I was saying before to somebody, or maybe even inside now, said I came from a loving family with loving siblings where we still have that relationship today, and to a loving husband with great children. We have created a wonderful family. So I have been very blessed. I wake up in the morning and count my blessings and go to bed in the evening and count my blessings.
And Edouard, what were you like as a kid?
I would say a little bit the same, a little bit similar. Although I was the youngest, I obviously was the favorite.
That is no doubt.
But we it's. I really consciously. It sounds really too rational, but I consciously. Eva was not my own first girlfriend, but I consciously said I want to be with somebody who gives positive vibes and who comes actually from a very positive background. It doesn't mean that somebody from a very troubled background cannot be wonderful, but it's so much easier if you meet somebody who comes from a background which was in one way very similar and still different. She was from Scandinavia, I was from Belgium, but it was, I never had any moment in my life that I had any discussion or trouble or anything else with my parents, and they never between themselves. And actually Eva is a mirror image. So we both are really coming from very similar backgrounds. And I was also, I think I was no super extrovert, but I definitely was no introvert. And in this way, actually, I think we have a very similar background.
Eva, what was your first paid job?
In my first paid job was actually, I was cleaning as a student. I was cleaning in hospitals.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you?
How old was I? 17 years old.
Really? Edouard, your first job?
My first job was creating my own business. I always created my own businesses from day one.
As
Come
a
on, you didn't
student,
work for anybody before?
No,
As a
until
student,
many years ago. As a
when we
student,
were
I
married,
started.
selling
As a
art.
student, I started going to galleries in Israel, and I found one gallery who was a wonderful person who lent me artworks, and I took these artworks, and when I came back to Israel, from Israel to Belgium, I started selling them.
Really?
And
How old were you?
I was then 20.
Cool.
And that became, so it's only when I was actually, and that is an interesting thing for me, when I became, for the first time ever, when I really worked for somebody else, is when I was just under 40. We moved to Israel because we decided we don't want to be 60, which sounded terrible old, and then say we should have done something when we were 40. So we came with the whole family under 40 to Israel. And then I said, I don't know the place. I cannot start my own business here. So after 6 months waiting, I joined a company which was at tiny, which was SodaStream, and I started immediately setting up and run the international business, which became quite successful.
So what was SodaStream like then when you started?
SodaStream was actually historically, SodaStream was a UK company, started in 1904, which was for upstairs, downstairs. When you were upstairs, you bought some soda. There was a huge machine to make your soda. And in the 80s, it was quite successful as a company in the UK, etc. Then it was bought out and more or less died. The only place where it really was successful was the importer in Israel, because this was the time of the Russian immigration. People didn't have the money, so if you were really, really well-to-do, you had a Coke bottle once a week on your table, and otherwise, what could you have? And soda was for very entry level, but there was a lot of people who were in that situation. So it was a very small company in Israel, but they did about $2 million, and I completely reconfigured it as something environmentally very ambitious, and I started in Switzerland, and after 2 years we sold already almost $200 million, and this is history.
And what was the insight to change the original strategy to the strategy you changed it to? Where was the insight?
Because what it was I always have to think first, can I understand the consumer? Now, I cannot understand the consumer necessarily from, a poor Russian immigrant or even a poor family. I don't exactly know how they react, but I know Europe very well. So I said, let me take the most difficult country in Europe, which is Switzerland, which has 4 different languages, 4 different traditions, and let me reposition it for somebody so difficult as that population, because it's so difficult because they're so well used. And the environmental point, which was, hey, why do you have all these bottles coming back and forth and polluting the earth? Why can't you make that soda by you at home? So that was my thought. We designed it, and the rest was history.
Tell me about your connection to Genius 100. Eva?
No, you were the connector,
Okay.
and I came with because Eddie was saying, Eva, this is about impact, and you're really into the impact world today. So that's the way but it was Ed, you who had the connection.
I started very simply. I work with several artists very closely, and one of them is Ron Arad. So Ron Arad, of course, is the one who not only designed the logo, but he showed me also, I was with him in the studio last month, where he showed me the book and how the whole thing about space. And it was that he said, okay, how can we really help the concept of Genius 100, which is a fantastic concept. How can we really move this forward? And I think that the book is a written text, but actually the world of today is much more visual than that. So he made that fantastic book, which was also, he's in the intersection between art, design, architecture, and a super innovative person. And I said, let's try to see if we cannot do something and help innovate it further, Genius 100, and that was my connection.
And Eva, you mentioned impact before.
Yeah, I'm this year a Harvard Fellow on Impact. This is my team is Impact. How can we change the world to a better place?
And what are you doing?
I am today, after many years in business, I decided to want to give back to my community, to the world wherever. And I started an organization in Israel for helping prisoners, people who get out of prison or with a criminal record, to integrate into society. And unfortunately, how it is that 77% of the population don't get any help in Israel. People who sit the full time in prison come out of prison, and actually the system makes that they have difficult to stay out of prison because they don't get any assistance. They return to prison because they will need to steal just to get food. And I was looking, I must say, because many people ask me, why do you start with prisoners? Why don't you do something for disadvantaged children or things? And I looked at it totally like a business, and I looked where I had a niche. And there is a niche because nobody does it. Nobody goes to it, and it's really the most vulnerable people. And I have got so much gratitude, and it satisfies me every day to work with this group of people because they're truly grateful. And today I've been working with them for 3-4 years, and I truly believe when 80% or 90% of people go out of prison and they say they want to change, that they really want to change, but the society don't let them change. So if we can help them, and I'm very proud to say that the people who have gone the whole way by us would say that we help them solve their debt issues, we help them reintegrate into national health system, all kind of things, all the blockage on the way we help them with, and we assist them how to get a job. They will get the job themselves. We give them the tools to get a job, but they will get the job themselves. So this is a personal victory where they create self-confidence. And later on, when they have job stability, we help them to get an education. We will discuss with them, we coach them. Everybody have their private coach. And we will coach them what you should do, so they will come out with a university degree or vocational training. And all those people who have done the whole way until today, none have returned to prison.
Oh, wow.
So that's for me the proof of what I'm doing.
I have a question for you both, which is the name of the show is The Moment That Changed Everything. Eva, what was your moment?
That changed my life, or the
Yeah,
moment of it?
changed
You
your
know,
life.
I think that you have all those defining moments in your life. I cannot come and tell you that you have one moment in your life that just changed my life. But I have those moments. One one is when I was a child, and my mother is from Denmark since 1642. My father is a Holocaust survivor. And my father came to Israel, and he came back from Israel and said, now I can die. He didn't mean he could die because he was a very positive and happy person, even he had been through 7 camps, etc. But this, that he saw a Jewish policeman, a Jewish soldier, this was for him an answer for why he lost most money of his family, and sort of gave him some comfort, and this definitely put me in direction of moving to Israel.
I see.
So that was, you have
Right.
that's what I'm saying, it's small defining, when I think about my life, it's put together of small defining moments, you know, who just make what I am. I come from 2 strong women, my grandmother and my mother, so they were female role models. I met this fabulous guy who I have worked together with, and whatever crazy idea I came up with, he supports me. And so that is all what make me me.
Right. Edouard, what would be your moment?
Interesting. I was thinking about it, and exactly the same as Eva. There's so many moments, and of course, I would say, needless to say, when we met, and every day, our moment is better. That is actually what I would say is the moment. Meaning, I find it surprising that every moment, every day, we love each other more, we care for each other more, and we appreciate each other more. So it's a continuous growth in life, which gives us the, and I said me specifically, the foundation of being able to do so much, because I don't need to worry about the most personal side in my life, which is day to day. This and our whole family, who is really the basis, and friendship. So once you that underlying ground is completely solid, you can do everything.
So you might say that the thread was the one that has continued throughout your life.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here, Eva, Edouard. This is the Genius 100 podcast from Los Cabos, Mexico. I'm Laurie Metrick. Thanks for listening.
To learn more about how you can support G100 initiatives, visit genius100visions.com.